Fast. Last night I cut the light off my bedroom. Hit the switch, was in the bedroom. The room was dark.
Bro, top 3, then I'm top 2. I study game like scouts do. Brought me in this world like pops do. No, I'm growing hair like scouts do. We don't care if you leave, you can bounce, nigga. We can do this shit without you. I'm ahead of the game with about you. I don't care for the fame or the clout too.
Make one wrong move, we'll out you. This my crib, wear my house shoes. Right at your chest with my hands around your throat. Leave him 6 feet like we're stunting his crew. Come butt him to sleep, that's a karma with toast. Thinking he kiss, I'll turn him to ghost. Stand in my stance, never leaving my post. Do this for them because my life is old.
Can't ride this wave, it's rocking the boat. Surrounded by bars, it's locking the goat.
Locking the scope, my back against the rope. These sticks is fire, you niggas want smoke?
You at the top cause you float. Face down, we at the top cause we solid and stay down.
Niggas think they bowed it, tell them plead the case now. Yeah, it's a pace, who leading the race now?
Breaking the way, we making our own way now. Been killing it, they starting to decay now.
Paving the way, just look at what we laid down. Hard scar, get a headstone in the grave now.
Cloud in the clouds when we stay now. Ain't no game in a double playground.
It's our turn now, yeah, we can't wait round. We gonna let them hate, put a fork in whatever's at stake.
We seasoned, don't get sprinkled today. You sweet nigga, you the icing on cake.
Dive in the water so we use them as bait. My pen the only thing deciding your fate.
We top 3, you finished too late. That's clear enough, it's captured in 4K. Don't toy with us, some things you don't play with. We go up like angels on spaceships.
Ball shit, can you relate this? Take 5 like a break, you can take 6. Impact, hit hard, try to brace this. Make your truck compact like you change with.
I'm one West nigga, I ain't trying to change shit.
Niggas running their mouth, but they don't say shit.
Yo, fuck what you think, man, niggas brainless.
My record like my pea shit, this shit stainless. Make one wrong move, we're out you. This my crib, where my house shoes.
If bro top 3, then I'm top 2. I study game like scouts do.
Make one wrong move, we're out you. This my crib, where my house shoes.
Hey, Wales. With
Had the Wales and sign it off in the back. All right, now, all praises to the Most High. We give him blessings, honor, glory, and power, being him that sits upon the throne and to the Lamb forever and ever. All right, now, the true name of God, historically and archaeologically. Archaeology, is that a real word? Come on now, my people. Help me out now. Archaeologically, what? That's what we're talking about today. Today, we're going to be proven beyond a reason to doubt, that the actual true pronunciation was transliterated throughout the Israelites' captivities, not only in Greek, but other captivities also. First and foremost, I would like to say, please, my people, do not fall victim to the deception of anti-Greekism. Yeah, this is something that is being culminated amongst the leading Israelite parties by putting a prejudice against Greek, even though knowing, or maybe they don't know, in ignorance, that the Israelites, they stopped using the Hebrew language a long time ago. That is the reason why it is called a lost language today. It's still considered as a lost language because it was abandoned and not used for too long of an extensive period of time. So what happened was the ruling class, and then in result, the common class of people of the Israelites, they developed the usage of the Greek language. So for centuries, yeah, I said it, for centuries, they used the Greek language as the primary language. They wasn't speaking Hebrew. That's the whole reason why they even have what is called the Targums. The Targums was a book, was the Bible, the first 5 books of the Bible, but they were utilized to educate the Greek crowd of Israelites that did not no longer know the Hebrew language, but they were still maintaining the documents and the manuscripts of the original Hebrew Bibles, or manuscripts, or scrolls, or parchments or tablets or whatever and so forth. So don't let nobody deceive you and make you think that the Israelites never actually recorded a transliteration. In other words, maintained the proper pronunciation that is resonated from the Hebrew language, but transliterated into another language so you can still make the same pronunciation using modern alphabets. Okay, so let's get to the video because I couldn't put this together because I'm actually having issues with presentation programs. It's kind of like, you know, the man or whoever you want to say, the white man, the devil, whoever, they're making it to where it's hard to make to get actually a free presentation program. They want you to sign up, pay, and all these things and sorts now all of a sudden. So I'm just having issues with that because I ain't trying to go out like that. So let's just get to the video. Let me show this copyright disclaimer so I don't get my thing flagged. With that being said, that was enough there. Now let's get to the video. Now watch this. We're going to prove. This video here will prove beyond a reason to doubt. Now here we go. Let me get my screen shared. First off, I'm going to show, first thing I'm going to show instead of the video, I'm going to show this clipping right here. Watch this. Can y'all see my screen? Boom! Look at this. This is for those that love the Dead Sea Scrolls. Okay, you guys love the Dead Sea Scrolls. You love what happened inside of the Qumran cave. Okay, now, well, now for that fact, if you go off of the Dead Sea Scrolls, you must pronounce the name properly. This is not a scroll, Mike. Let me remind you. This is actually a real, actual parchment from papyrus, but it still was found amongst the Dead Sea Scrolls. The actual vermilion sheepskin that has been proven to be not actually the real documents. But that was another video. We're talking about another artifact that was found in them same areas, because what they do right here is they like to use something called disinformation. Disinformation is when you hide 10% of lies and 90% of truth. It's called disinformation. Now watch this now. Look what it says. What do you see right here? You see I, you see A, and this is a Hebrew, a Greek strong O. A strong O. If it was just a regular O, like we see like right here, you see that? That's a weak O. If that was next to an A, it would make the same word like ow. Like the name Yao Ming. If it was next to an A and an O, it would be owl. But since they use the strong O, the omega, in other words, the lowercase omega, the strong omega, it now separates. It no longer conjoins the A and the O to make owl. It's separate at that point. So it turns into Ya O. Let's see what it says right here. 1st century BCE, a Septuagint manuscript. What? It's called 4Q120. And it says right here, in addition to smaller critical variants, the manuscript displays the divine name. Sorry, y'all. In addition to smaller text critical variants, the manuscript displays the name in Greek characters as Yao. The tetra or the trigrammaton. Instead of the tetra, which means 4, this is the trigrammaton, the 3. In Leviticus 3 and 12, fragment 6, and 427, fragment 20. Instead of later practice of replacing it with kurios, Lord, Yao can be seen as a what?
Transliteration.
It is a transliteration of YHWH or Yao.
Man, that's crazy. Where's this at again?
This right here
It's in the Dead Sea Writings.
The Qumran fragment. I was found in Jerusalem. All right. Titled 4120. I mean, 4A120. Excuse me. 4Q120.
4Q120. All right.
4Q120. And in addition, it actually tells us about a codex. That'll be a large compilement of documents that comes that is, a manuscript of the Hebrew, or it could be in Greek. But it says the codex March-Alanius. March-Alanius is the only other extant manuscript of the Septuagint that uses Yao to transcribe the tetragrammaton. That's the 4th letter. That's why it's WH. Scriptio continua is used throughout. So in other words, that it's constantly used in there the same way that you see in the modern Septuagint copies that we get. You'll see kurios. That's scriptio continuous. It's constantly used throughout the scripts. Well, they saying in the Codex Marcellianus, which I never even heard of until today. Have you ever heard anybody mention this?
Nope.
But I'm going to definitely look into that and make a video on this also. This is a dagger. This is an axe blow to all the fake names, because this is historically documented and nobody has any other comparison or rival that is equal to this archaeology and to this historical references that we're using right here. Archaeological and historical references that we're using. I found the word out now. It's archaeological. Thank you. All praise to the Most High. So,
Allah Habah.
For real. So the word, the letters is called iota. That's the I.
Yep.
Alpha and omega.
Come on now. The beginning and the end. Come on, man.
Is that the Most High?
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
And iota probably means I am. It sounds a whole lot like it. Hey, that was just me. That wasn't like anything educational, but I'm like, what's up? You think it's a coincidence that it's I, the Alpha and Omega? Iota, Alpha and Omega. Sounds like I'm saying I am Alpha and Omega. That's what I'm saying, man. These people, they slacking. And here's another one. We got the Dimensibus. Okay? Y'all see this? The Dimensibus the 4th, 53. He said, you got to write these things down. This is what it says. I guess this is the document that it's actually in. The D or of or the Mensibus the 4th, 53. The Mensibus the 4th, 53. Van Kooten mentions that what? Yahweh is one of the specially Jewish or Hebrew Israelite designations for God. It doesn't say Yahweh. That's the craziest thing about it. We got all our people running around saying Yahweh, and they're leaning off their own understanding. When they know that they're in violation of, you're not supposed to lean off your own understanding. Because at the end of the day, you are the only one that's at fault. You can't slide the blame on nobody. But if you say, hey man, I don't walk the 6-pointed star because I don't see nothing in the Bible that says that I have to. And you be like, oh, well, you just now literally slid the responsibility right off of you, and you slid it straight to the Bible. You're like, that's the reason why I don't do it, because the Bible, it doesn't support it. You're like, oh, that's a smart way of doing it.
Yep.
You're like, well, I don't use the name Yahweh. You're like, why? You're like, there's nothing historically or archaeologically that backs that up. That's something that somebody, honestly, it seems like it came out of in the 20th century. It just, some black dudes just came out with it. But when you really look in the history, and when this video is over, we're going to have what is considered a body of evidence. That's how the wording in any type of high educational settings would be actually transpired to the people that you're speaking to. You're saying, hey, we have a body of evidence. You say that to somebody in a academic realm of existence, they know what they know what you about to do. They know what you're really saying. They're like, hey, you got beyond the reason to doubt when you have a body of evidence, not just somebody just agreeing and settling on that. We're not agreeing and settling on nothing. We're going to use history. We're going to use archaeology to find out what is his name. He said Van Kooten mentions that Yah-O. So Van Kooten, that is somebody. Whoever Van Kooten is, whatever. You ain't Van Kooten. Nobody's speaking about none of these dudes right here saying, yeah, what the group said, God's name is Yahweh. Nobody's listening to that. Archaeology. They're like, Van Kooten mentions that Yah-O is one of the specifically Jewish designations for God, and the Aramaic papyrus. Aramaic papyrus from the Jews at Elephantine shows that Yah-O is an original Jewish term. That means even in the language, not in the languages that they have developed throughout the captivity. Original means even in their most basic version of the Hebrew, the most ancient version of the Hebrew, when you heard them say the YHWH, they said Yah-O. That's what this means. That's our people, we gotta wake up and we gotta let go of the foolishness. Okay? The reason it's being is because we starting to go too far with the wrong. We got it so bad now with the Yahweh thing that people are now trying to attack those that don't use that name. Not physically, but verbally. That's persecution. They are trying to persecute you for actually knowing the historical name of God. That's crazy. So somebody got to go out there and make this known to the people. And we're going to do it right here at 1 Inch Set Apart today. Now we're going to get to the video. The I am. Shalom. We have someone that just hit the panel.
Man, what's up? What's up, y'all, man?
Shalom.
Is this Ayala?
Yeah.
This is the I am. You know who this is, my man? What's going on?
Hey, man, you never know, man. Somebody could have, took that name from you, man. But what's happening, man?
No, the I am. I don't think nobody go by that name.
Okay. What's going on, man?
But I got a question right quick, and you can finish your lecture. But now I'm not saying this don't happen; it does happen. But are you trying to say that, or are you saying that all the people before you had it wrong? all the Negro teachers who was into the Israelite the God of Israel had it wrong?
Yeah, absolutely. They had it wrong, and that wouldn't be the first time they had it wrong. You know what I mean? We're not God. We're not perfect either. You know what I mean? And just because you found out that you was an Israelite don't mean that everything just fell into place. It still takes work. We still got to dig up all the information, and that's just something that they didn't do. They didn't take the time to do that. To all the way to the point where we even got brothers that's calling God a higher. Because this is all people that's actually said, okay, let's look at the history. And the reason to be is because people have made a prejudice. They created a prejudice against Greek.
God.
They say the Greeks, they had us in captivity. That's when we all fell off. Oh man, he using Greek. That's Greek. Which made it so now everybody has veered away from actually investigating the Israelites when we was living amongst the Greeks.
Okay, no problem. You're right. We're not. We can err. It's possible. So, does God really actually have like a name, as in like you and me? Because I thought Almighty. If the Creator is the Almighty, right? Then how can He actually have a name where only He has that name? Because, like, for example, not trying to talk about your God or anything, but like I know people whose name is Jesus. Their literal name is actually Jesus on documentation.
Uh-huh.
So I'm saying somebody can actually have a legal name called Yahweh and spell it the same way you spelling it.
That's right.
So
they could.
So how is that? So how does the Creator have a name and other people have that same name?
Because
living amongst us.
Because we're made in the likeness and in His image. So these things that we do is actually something that is derived from our Creator, which is hardwired now in us, like the uses of names, the responding to emotion, the feeling of jealousy when it's coupled with security, devotion, and territory. That comes from God. That's not a man attribute. Just man has only seen it in men. They haven't seen it in being played out in every animal. They see it just like within the large beasts of the field. But then when you get past the large beasts and you go into the insect world and all that, it doesn't really apply like that. So they say, oh, so to be jealous is God thing. I mean that's a man way. And to have a name, that's a man's way. You're like, absolutely not.
Okay.
Things that actually makes us closer to knowing about God. Understanding the way it actually works. It's like, oh, we use names because He communicated even in the beginning. When God created everything, He didn't think it. He communicated it. So we're like, oh, so we deal with God communicates.
And then I want to say something. I just want to add a little bit more to that. The Most High, you know what I mean? His name is a reputation. If you look at what His name means, if you look at it, it's I, Alpha and Omega. You know that or the hand. You know what I mean? That's what it can stand for. Yah, the Yah sound. So that's what His name is. His name is also reputation. Like our names don't really have reputations tied to it, but the Most High's name has a reputation tied to it.
Right.
All it is.
Okay, and so that's a good explanation. So now, we as people are known by many names, or many attributes as well. So can we just so would it be okay to just say, okay, we can call them Yahweh, we can call them Yahweh, we can call them Yah, we can call them, you see what I'm saying? Would it be wrong, would the brothers and sisters be wrong for just, as long as we know they're talking about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, would that be a problem? For the sake of,
well, check it out. It goes like this. This is the answer, because I agree with you when you said that we all have different, some of us have different names, you know, some of us go by nicknames, it's called. But just like it goes with God is same as with us. We only have one name that has power. Just like let's say that you was in jail, or say that I was in jail, and I needed you to help me out with some money on my books. Even though you knew my nickname, and everybody knows me by my nickname. If you don't know my real true name, you have no power to communicate to me while I'm in jail.
That's right. Facts.
You just don't have the power. You don't have the access. My nickname will not, battle axe will not get you to communicate to me. But if you knew my real name, then you can do a lot of things. It's the same way as with God.
Yeah, you can look him up and everything.
I get that, but only thing about it, God is a little. I would say it's a little different because in the they want to be they want to confine you to a certain name, but if the system wasn't so strict on, okay, well, since you used the locked up situation, then yeah, they want you to go by a particular name, but
I think you fell off.
as long as we all
no,
yeah,
you
broke it out.
A particular name, and then that's when you cut off.
You know, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Now we don't.
Yeah, you going in and out.
All right, hold on. All right, y'all go ahead. I'll come back.
God.
So,
Back to
okay.
scripture. Back to what we were reading.
Feel free to interject at any time.
No, I'm saying back to what we was reading.
Oh, yeah, you talking y'all.
Oh, okay, let's roll.
Okay, so what I think he was saying is I think that he was getting along the drift of saying that, like, basically God still knows who you're really trying to call out to and all that, but
only that real name got power.
But your real name is the one that carries the power. That's just that's the way that existence works. And God is, he says, you know what I'm saying, self-existent. So when you look at this existing, you just look and see what exists now. You're like, oh, real names carry the power. Nicknames is just something that people use for other personal.
So you don't know they real name.
Huh?
Nicknames is for so you don't know their name.
That is the truth. You ain't lying, man. Like, let's just be honest. Archeology hit the nail on the head. That was the truth. He said it the real deal. He said you got the nickname because they didn't want you to know the real name. He ain't lying. When he said that sent me all the way back to the first time I had a nickname. Took me all the way back. I was like, damn.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it was. Okay. Person don't want you to know the name. So
hey, remember he said he gonna hide his name from us. We ain't gonna know his name.
Yeah.
Gonna hide his face. You're not even gonna know his name. You're gonna call him a different name.
Oh yeah.
All kinds of nicknames.
Right. He even says, like, even like at a point in time that, you know what I'm saying? Even if we call out to him, he ain't going to listen. And you be like, oh, okay. So he is setting up a system to where he's dissing the Israelites. And you can look and see now where the confusion coming from. You're like, the confusion came from God. Where people are like, well, his name is this, his name is that, his name is this. It was like, yeah, that had to happen for a certain period of time so people don't get that instant access of God.
Yeah.
Did you know, like, and that's really how it works. That's why you see in Isaiah, he said, let their eyes be blinded and let their ears be heavy. that their ears be dulling. He said, so when they see, they don't realize. And when they hear, they don't understand. He said, because if they did see and they did understand, he said, I would have to heal them. Yeah. That's what, like, people don't understand how much of a contract that we are in when you say, or you sign yourself under the name of God or under the army of God. You say, I'm an Israelite, or I'm a child of God. You basically saying, like, man, I'm enlisted into a contract. I'm in that contract. I signed up. And it's a two-way contract, man. If you do the right thing, which is in the Bible, the commandments, hey, man, there is benefits that has to come. Whether God likes you or not. If you do the right thing, yeah, I said it. If you do the right thing and stop doing what you was doing, because you know that God hates the sinners. God. So you be a sinner, he ain't feeling your ass at all, man. He looking at you like, yo, bro, man, get out of here. Don't even mention him to me. But then you do the right thing, he gonna look and be like, that dude, he gonna just go ahead and make a U-turn like that, huh? He's like, and I didn't even like him. Okay, here you go. Hook you up. That's grace.
Peace. I'm back, yo.
Huh?
Peace. I'm back. Yep. I had to get that technical difficulty out the way.
Yeah, you're a lot clearer now. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, what I was seeking to say is that if we're all talking about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? Then if somebody say Yahweh or Yahweh, for me, that's not going to offend me, as long as I know we're talking about the same God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We're talking about the God of the Creator. We're talking about the Creator. We're talking about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Then if they say Yahweh, I mean, I don't see where it's going to really be a big problem.
I'll tell you where it is. First off, I already mentioned that the other names don't carry any real power. Secondly, what it really does is it corrupts. What it does on the surface also, in the immediate, is that it corrupts the language. It makes the language no longer the actual language. So not only are we losing access by mispronouncing the name, we're losing the real language because people are predicating the language based off of how they pronounce the Tetragrammaton.
Okay, that's a good point. So if you contaminate the language, or well, I don't say contaminate, but messing up the language, so
it's corrupting it.
Wouldn't we have to? Okay, so before we can make that statement, wouldn't we have to say, well, wouldn't we have to establish as a people? Because you're supposed to be one as a people. We're supposed to speak the same thing when it comes to the law of God. So wouldn't we have to establish, well, what is the language and what is the pronunciation of the language before we can say, okay, what is the pronunciation of his name?
The pronunciation of his name, actually, the preservation of the pronunciation of his name will lead us to the proper utilization of the language. When everybody's doing all this, and all they really just said was, let's go outside. You know, it makes it no longer a bunch of just crazy talk. It makes it to something that can actually flow. It could become what we call today fluent speech.
Okay, so again, wouldn't the people who are like seekers of this truth, what is the established characters of the language and what is the established pronunciation of those characters of this particular language? Because if that's not established amongst the greats, the so-called greats of the community and of this nation, then how can we even get on the same page of pronunciation of the name?
Yeah.
Well, it's good. It's cool that you said the greats, because Christ lets us know that those that who are highly esteemed is an abomination to the Lord. So when we see that, like, I'm not saying that everything about them is just completely to be thrown away and tossed off. But I'm saying is, right there is where you see them not actually historically digging up the real name, and they at fault for that, and it's their pride that keeps them from repenting. Because I
heard that for you.
Heard this before. This is not made up. What they do is they see you say, "Oh, it's in Greek," and they lose it right then and there because they have demonized Greek. But they sit around here speaking English all day, every day.
Well, what I'm saying is, there's brothers out here
in English.
Okay, but there's brothers out here. There's men out here who teach and speak the language fluently.
But they don't speak it. They don't speak it. None of these dudes speak it fluently. Can't none of these dudes hold a conversation like me and you are having right now? They can't do it in Hebrew.
I'm gonna give you a name. Y'all probably know him. I think he was with Yashavel in his group or something like that. In Atlanta. Yashavel. And then also Mighty Hebrew is a brother that I think speaks fluent Hebrew, and then there's a woman that speaks fluent Hebrew. Her name is Davana or something like that. So it's people out there that speak fluent Hebrew.
Davanya.
No, they don't listen. No, they don't. What they do is they practice phrases and they memorize those phrases. But they don't hold, you will never see them holding a conversation between each other in Hebrew. They never do it. Still to this day, they won't do it. Why? Because they can't.
Okay, well, I think we would have to have them online and talk to them verbally to see it.
That's just the truth. And nobody understands them either. The Jewish people don't know what they're saying either. Nobody knows what they're saying. They don't know what they're saying when they speaking it. I'm talking about somebody else that's sitting amongst them. They don't know what they're saying unless they utilize the key phrases. The same old utilized, recycled phrases that you hear. But when it comes down to the language, they don't know it, man. And that's all smoke and mirrors, man. To try to make them think, to make you believe that they are sophisticated.
And another reason why I think that the Most High blinded our people, from calling out his name, is because a commandment is not to take the Most High's name in vain. And because for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that takes his name in vain.
Right.
So, these people, when they're calling out these names, the Most High didn't give him his names, because if you look at a lot of these people, these groups, that's calling out the names of Yahweh a lot, not dissing them or anything, but they still got a little faults in them. Ain't none of them, 100% right. Just some of them slip up. You catch some of them slipping up, man.
Come on,
just what it is.
They running around.
They rocking around, with the star Moloch on their chest.
Star Moloch, pinching people that you can have sex with Mexican women.
Okay, I think it's a brother by the name. He calls himself a Danite. He's somebody known by the Danite. Something Danite. He speaks fluent Hebrew. He even hold classes.
No, I'm not saying that they're not dudes that can do their whole Hebrew thing. I'm saying that they don't communicate with each other. You can get a guy that can sit here and he can do it, and he probably do it for half an hour straight. But somebody else sitting there won't know what he's saying.
Right. Balak's basically saying like our people don't communicate to each other in Hebrew.
No.
Okay, but I'm saying, but you got whole groups where they speak Hebrew. I'm giving you
their primary language is English. Our people communicate to each other in English. That's just what it is. Is there people that do know Hebrew? Yes, but do they communicate to each other in Hebrew? No. Our people ain't communicating to each other in Hebrew.
No, they're not. So And the
You
point,
talking about the everyday people? Yeah, not them, but it's
none
scholars
of
out
them,
here.
none of them. You show me a stream where there's two people talking to each other all in just Hebrew, and I'm talking about they talking for 2 hours like we talking English. Because you can get the Jewish people speaking to each other in their language. You can get the Spanish people speaking to each other in their language. You can get the Chinese to be speaking to each other in their language. You can't get these Negroes to be speaking Hebrew to each other online.
Okay, so okay, if that's your defense, if that's your stand, then okay, so do y'all know Hebrew or do y'all know how to speak?
No, we're not saying that I'm a Hebrew, professional. That I got the linguistics. What we're saying is the text, the transliteration of the pronunciation of God's name was maintained and preserved in other languages, and it proves that not only is people not knowing the real name, they don't speak the real language, regardless of what he think he's fluent in. He's fluent in a language that he made up. You get what we're saying?
That's some strong words, but hey, if that's your position.
Watch when we're done with this video, you'll see. Watch, we'll prove beyond a reason to doubt that these guys went wrong once again.
Okay, I got you. I got another good question. Now, this is a good question. I think everybody probably have asked this question or will want to know. The Creator speaks to us in English because we speak English, right?
Yeah.
So, how serious is how really important is Hebrew or the original name of the whatever the language is called?
Because
how serious is that?
Never changed. The Most High
No, hold on. No, that's not what I'm about to ask. I'm about to ask that if the Hebrew or the original language is so important, then why is the Most High speaking to us in whatever language that we know?
The Hebrew language is absolutely not important. The people use the Hebrew language to try to have a point of sophistication, period. That's how they get in the door, to impress you, to make them believe that they are qualified to teach. Smoke and mirrors.
Okay.
Smoke and mirrors. What's really
all right?
What is really important about when we get into the Hebrew language is the actual pronunciation of God's name. That's the highest importance in studying the Hebrew language. That's the highest importance. How is
all right? I'm gonna let you finish your.
Check this out too,
I'm gonna let y'all finish the lesson. I appreciate the answers, man. Thank you for answering the questions.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, in the scriptures, right, where it says the Most High, He's gonna, give us a holy language, right?
Yeah.
So, a lot of Israelites use that verse to go back to Hebrew and be like, yeah, the Most High, He's gonna give us a holy language. This is the holy language, is Hebrew. You know what I mean? And then they'll show you the old language. You be like, well, why wouldn't the Most High just say, if that's the case, why don't the Most High just say, hey, I'm gonna have caused you to remember your language? Well, now honestly, I'm gonna give you a holy language.
Honestly, Akbalak, I don't want to lie on the Sabbath. I don't know nothing about all that.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Well,
are we still there?
Yeah.
I don't know. I lied just now. I gotta repent. I disagreed because I just thought that was the right thing to do.
Well,
yeah, I gotta repent. Sorry for lying to you, man. I don't know anything about that.
Well, new language.
No, I don't know nothing about that. I don't know about that. I know about new song. I know about a new name. I know about when he says, I'll speak to them in another language and in another tongue, I'll speak to these people, and they still won't listen. That's like English and Greek and all that. I get that. Pure language, I know about that one, but I don't know anything about holy language. I'm just being honest. I don't know about that. Maybe somebody can guide me to that one day. Let me know about the verses that's talking about this holy language. But I don't know nothing about no holy language. I can type it up right here.
Oh, let me try to get it in.
I can type it up, and it's not in the Bible, at least those words together. So I will just type up all the verses that pertains to language. And we have 27 times and 22 verses. We got one language. So I'm gonna share the screen, but I don't think I'm sharing with y'all, right? Are we sharing?
Come.
Okay. This is what I got. You know what I mean? One language. We all know the Genesis story. Then we got Syrian language, Jews language. I don't see anything about where it says holy, the Jews' holy language. The Jews' language again. Jews' language.
Let me see.
Their language? The language. I'm just saying, man. I don't know what these people are talking about, but we just keep going. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. So you see that? Speaking in languages.
Come.
I heard a language.
Yeah, where do they get that from? Because I've heard a lot of Israelites bring it out. I'm trying to remember what verse they go to. I heard a lot
that when Israel went out of Egypt, the house of Jacob from a people of strange language.
No.
Egypt speak the language of Canaan. Syrian language, Jews language. Whose language you don't know? A hard language. Every nation language. Pure language. Like I told you, I know about pure language, but I guess that might mean holy. Let's check it out. Nope. Sorry. Dang. Hey man, I tried. Hey man,
wow.
I tried to go there. You know what I mean? If I didn't know this, if I didn't have this here with me, I probably would have been like, yeah, that's probably it right there. Holy probably means pure. It's probably it.
Oh yeah, this is it. This is the one that they use.
It just means pure.
This is the scripture they use. Definitely
clean, clearly, manifest, bright, purge, out, polished, purge, purified.
But that's what you were talking about. You know what I mean? That's crazy. This is like a verse that they use, right? But this is what you're saying when you were talking to Ayala, you was like, I mean, we're trying to get it to a pure language, not a babbling type language, a clear and cut,
fluent language.
Fluent or pure.
Pure. Where it flows, clean.
Yeah. Calm.
You know what I mean? Purified.
Yep. Calm.
Not garbled.
Calm.
And I'll be honest with you, man. It sounds like English to me. Now, I'm just keeping it real, you know what I mean? But that's just my opinion. I'm not tripping off of it, though. But to me, I'm like, I don't know, y'all, man. But no, it'll be the actual real Hebrew. Then will I turn to the people a pure language that they all may call upon the name of the Lord to serve him with one consent. Well, that right there.
Well, if you think about it, though, Battle Axe, English is Hebrew.
Wait a minute, though, but listen what it says. Then will I turn to the people. What does that mean? To turn to. That means that it was already going in one direction, but it existed.
Man.
right?
Yeah.
I would turn your captivity. That means it was going in one direction, right?
Right.
But nevertheless, it exists.
Con.
But what he means by he'll turn it, that means he will reverse the direction of where it was going. Right?
Con.
I'm trying to tell you, man, what are we doing?
Hey,
man?
hey, but look at though. I actually agree with you on that. English is the pure language because guess what? If you look at the English words, they hold the same like meaning as the Hebrew words, kind of like, you know what I mean, like a in Hebrew, a is with how you pronounce a, you say they'll be like, oh, how do you say a? Okay, this is an a. What sounds do a make?
Come on now.
B. See,
what do we all do now right now? We all it is English, man.
English is Hebrew too.
This is English. Why would I say, come on, man, this is English. We all call upon him in one name. We all have the same language right now. Will I turn to the people a pure language? And it's not a mystery with this language comment when you look inside of the William Tyndale and the Matthew's Bible. The William Tyndale and the Matthew's Bible actually is responsible for a lot of modified, but now modernized English terminologies. Yeah, I said that. We dropped it in the video when I read it. You can go look at the William Tyndale video that I did in the Matthew's Bible when I read the whole little part in the beginning of the Bible, where it gives us a whole historical breakdown of what went down with this Bible and why it came about and what they were doing when they did it. They actually them dudes shaped the English language. Black men, Israelites. Because then I will turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord to serve him with one consent. What language is that we can say that we're doing this with now? It is actually not Hebrew, because the Israelites still to this day don't use the same Hebrew. The guys that pronounce his name as Yahuwah don't speak the same language as the guys that pronounce his name as Yahweh.
Yeah.
But when it's time to actually get down and talk about God and get this information communicated between each other, it's done in a language that everybody understands right now. All right, now check this out. Watch this video. Hold on. But I don't need nobody coming at me. Y'all, we don't need nobody coming at us.
For real.
All right. Oh man, this right here, this is a hitter. Watch this.
God's name was found in archaeology, but how it was pronounced? Let's watch this video.
Can you guys hear it well? All right.
As they approach the last ossuary, they feel that lightning can't strike twice. But sometimes it does.
Stop. So that's right. That's an inscription. That's it, baby.
Hold on. Whatever. I just want to.
There's an omega, clear as day. There's a C, delta, eta.
The inscription is in Greek, the dominant language of the wealthy in Jerusalem in the 1st century AD. But what does it say?
Yahweh is God's name. Yahweh in Greek.
In English, it's pronounced Jehovah. But what does it say?
Yahweh is God's name. Yahweh in Greek.
The dominant language of the wealthy in Jerusalem in the 1st century AD. But what does it say?
Yahweh is God's name. Yahweh in Greek.
In English, it's pronounced Jehovah.
So on this ossuary, right here, it says that his name is what? Yahweh. Once again. So not only do we have the papyrus that we just now looked at, not only do we have it in the De Mensibus, the 4th 53, and in the Codex Marcha Leonis, it's on this ossuary also. What are we doing, man?
Oh, that would be a verb. God is doing something. This and this I can't get.
The team contacts Professor James Charlesworth to help decipher the Greek inscription.
You were supposed to arrive yesterday, but you have a bit of a cold. Mm-hmm. Yesterday would be no good.
We didn't need a Greek reader yesterday, but we do today.
You're not going to come.
Are you teasing me? What?
Yeah, come on.
What have we got?
And in the middle area between the two rosettes, you've got this Greek inscription.
All right, I can read Yahweh. We have this in the Jewish magical papyri as a way of referring to Yahweh or God. So here you have it in Greek, in uncials, that means all caps, Yahweh. And above, I'm suggesting it might be Dios, God or Zeus is now Yahweh.
There you go.
So that would be related to the Greek word upsotheo, to raise up.
Yeah, that's it.
Upsilon, C, and Omega. And that is uncio for upsao, which in the Gospel of John is used for the resurrection of Jesus. It's upsao. He is lifted up. Yeah. I am lifted up, says Jesus. I am lifted up. I am raised up. Upsao. And the rest, I'm not sure I can read. A lamath, pay.
Maybe an olive. I'm not
sure. An olive. Apo. Upsao. Apo tuthanu, I would guess. From the dead.
The first two lines are clear. The first word is Dios, which can be read as Lord or God. The second word, Jehovah, the name of God in the Hebrew Bible. And then a word, upso.
That part right there when they saying Jehovah, or, you know what I'm saying? Of course we know that it just literally just told us how it was pronounced. But you know what I'm saying? They wanted to go that far to just go on ahead and just hit you upside the head with a lie.
Yeah.
If you are that gullible enough to just sit here and let him tell you that, it's on you though. It's definitely on you. But it just now said it was Yahweh. Read that. That was crazy, huh?
Yeah.
He just did that. And this wasn't the guy. This was what's his name? The commentator.
Right.
On the Discovery Channel. He just going he wilding out right now.
Yeah, so it said that Theos, Yahweh, or God, Yahweh has risen.
Yes, or arises or raises.
Yep.
Or what? You'll see they're gonna gas it out.
Which can mean has raised, will raise, or is raising. And finally, three letters that are not clear. They could be referencing, as Professor Charlesworth cited, the realm of death. But the last three letters may actually be A, G, B. The last word then could be Agba, the Hebrew equivalent of upso. In this case, the inscription is translinear. Greek, Hebrew, Greek, Hebrew.
The tome predates the Great War with.
You guys see that, man?
Yeah. So what is that? What they said? A, B, what?
Arba.
ARB.
Yeah. These are Israelites putting this message on this artifact. And the message is clear. Not only is it clear, it's Christian. When I say Christian, I'm not talking about that corrupted, watered down version that we got today. We're talking about this is not only showing his true name, it's showing that prove that Christ was on earth influencing his people, and his name was actually really there. His name, I'm talking about his reputation. This is solid, man.
Rome in 66 to 73 AD. It was found in modern times by Professor James Tabor and his team during
this is just a warm-up.
Excavations. They said it was pronounced Yahweh or Jehovah, but how does it pronounce and what does it really say?
Huh?
Oh, okay. You are playing something. All right.
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
I'm doing it for copyright purposes also.
4 lines of Greek text left by a family member of the deceased occupant of the Oshuwari tomb. Yes, I know it's Greek, but Greek was one of the languages that ancient Israelites spoke back then. Just like we are speaking English today. So try not to let this distract you from the fact that the script was not made by heathen.
You run it back a little.
The talks that ancient Israelites spoke back then. Just like we are speaking English today. So try not to let this distract you from the fact that the inscription was not made by heathen. The tablet tombs were owned by ancient Israelites. Here are the 4 lines translated into the Latin script. The first line says Dios, it's a vocative. The second word is a deity name. It says Yah in a vertical stroke and O. Third line says Upso, it's a verb. Fourth line is a personal name, Alpha, Gamma, and Beta. The inscription is a very brief prayer on behalf of the deceased, whose name was Hagab, that he be raised up to life again on the day of the resurrection. The million-dollar question, however, is the word on the second line, which is clearly a deity name. The first inclination of Prof. Tabor to pronounce this word as Yao was correct.
Yao is God's name, Yao in Greek.
The first 2 lines are Iota and Alpha, clear as day. The last
it's Niao in the Greek language, but that Greek language has transliterated it from the Hebrew. So it's not a name that was derived or created or pronunciation that is only solely responsible or tailored to the Greek. He's just saying it's in Greek. This is the name of God. In all actuality, it's just in the Greek language.
Last letter is Omicron, clear as day. Prof. Tabor went and obtained a second opinion from another scholar who happened to be in Jerusalem at the time, Prof. James Charlesworth. When Prof. James Charlesworth was shown the inscription, he immediately and without the slightest hesitation said this word is to be pronounced Yao.
All right, I can read Yao. We have this in the Jewish magical papyri as a way of referring to Yahweh or God. So here you have it in Greek, in uncios, that means all.
That's another artifact that you can write down too. It's called the Jewish magical papyri. I don't know too much about it, but it's not the only document. Obviously, we already just now covered that. It's not the only document where it has it in there. So don't.
Yo, I think he's referring to the Codex of Marcellanius. I think he's referring to the Codex of Marcellanius.
No. He's definitely talking about something that is called the Jewish magical papyri.
Oh, okay.
I looked it up. I'm just saying, don't get scared off because you hear the word magical papyri. You know what I mean? It makes you think that it's talking about some type of witchcraft or something. And no, you know what I mean? That's a conflict of interest and a double entendre within its own self, talking about Jewish and magical. You know what I mean? Like, what are we saying?
Right.
So, just that's something else that you can go look up. It's called the Jewish Magical Papyrus. That's another ancient artifact that has the name transcribed in it properly. Also, you know, we can't get around the body of evidence, and the only response to what we're showing, the only logical response to what we're showing can be, which will be properly acceptable to challenge this information, would be another body of evidence that proves otherwise. You will have to show us Yahweh actually in archaeology and in history. And
we see
they haven't been able to.
And we got two questions, or a question in the chat from Shalama. He says, why do y'all get caught up on or in name sounds as if it's more important than understanding the nature of the creator, y'all?
Can you say that a little bit louder?
He said, why do y'all get caught up on or in name sounds as if it's more important than understanding the nature of the creator of y'all? If you,
because we're not getting caught up in it. It's just that before we was able to prove it, everybody thought that it really mattered. But now that we can prove it, people don't think that it's valid, that we should even care. That's the same thing about when we prove that Christ is black. Same thing. We prove that Christ is, at first it's like, they'd be like, oh, you know, J-Bomb, he loves all, and this is him. And then we prove it, like, no, these people are black, Christ is black, boom. Well, race doesn't even matter. God loves everybody. What difference does it make that you're an Israelite or not? In Christ, we're all very equal. And you're like, wow. So when you can prove it, there goes the disvalue. You just disvalue it. Man, if it was important for these guys to say that it was Yahweh, then it's important that his name is actually properly, you know, recorded now. They're like, no, we got to clear the smoke up there. Because, like I said at the beginning of the video, we got brothers, and I know you know who I'm talking about, will try to say that you're not an Israelite because you don't know how to pronounce the Hebrew language properly. But the true pronunciation of the Hebrew language was maintained in the pronunciation of God's name when we cleared up the W. So now who's the real Israelite? You get what I'm saying? Who's the real Israelite now? Because ain't nobody coming through with nobody's coming through with any proof. Nobody's coming through with any history. Nobody's doing anything. All they do is just say, you're wrong, and now that makes you this. And you're like, wow, okay. We'll see about that.
All caps, Yao, all caps, Yao, all caps, Yao, all caps, Yao.
Did this without being pushed by anyone into boasting beforehand. But Prof. Tabor later changed his mind and came to the conclusion that the 4 Greek sons represents the 4 Hebrew letters of the divine name. And so, the third son must represent the Hebrew letter W, despite the fact that every other letter in the description is Greek. The third son, which looks like a vertical line, is in fact divided, a letter between 2 successive syllables in order to indicate a glottal stop between syllables. The pronunciation is Yao without question, just as Prof. Tabor initially thought, and just as Prof. Charlesworth immediately recognized. This pronunciation is the only one that is ever attested 370 AD, and thus it is consistent with all the other evidence we have. But the divine name was in fact pronounced exactly Yao, no other way, when Biblical Hebrew was still a living language. Again, in the second line, the vertical stroke is actually divided, a sign for glottal stop between Ya and the final letter Omicron, because without this vertical stroke, the reader would immediately read it as Yao. So this whole word is really read as Yao. If this sends letter Iota, then it was read as Yao, with an unwritten glottal stop in that case. But Yao has nothing to do with God's name, and there is no other legitimate proof that his name is Yao. God's name is pronounced Yao, according to the same prescription and to the other sources that we will discuss later. When the scholar Yauda Bandor conferred with Dr. Russell about this, he asked him what he thought, the inscription that Talcott comes with me. Pandora told him it reads, O divine Yahweh, raise up Hagab. He explained to Dr. Russell what he had relayed to Prof. Tabor about the third sign and the second row of the inscription being divided. His reply was, very interesting indeed. The Talcott asked why inscription might be in Greek, just like the Dead Sea Scroll 4120 is in Greek, but they were not made by the heathen hands. The views expressed in them, the beliefs, and most importantly, the holiness of the deity mentioned in them, not Greek at all.
Now that we have deciphered this inscription, we are now moving on to another Greek transliteration of God's name. The Dead Sea Scroll fragment 4Q120 dates from the 1st century BCE, is a manuscript of the Torah in Greek, made by Israelite priests who lived at the Dead Sea community of Qumran before it was abandoned during the War of 66 to 73 AD. Here is a close-up look of 4Q120, showing the divine name transliterated with the three Greek letters Iota, Alpha, and Omega.
Boom.
Transliterated with the three Greek letters Iota, Alpha, and Omega.
Just like we just showed, we just now went through that, and there it is again. Boom, there it is. There's nothing that that you can really do and say about this. This is actually in history. This is actually part of archaeology. Not only is it on this fragment itself, but it's on other documentations. We gotta go on ahead and stop with the foolishness, man. We gotta let go of our pride and admit that we was wrong. So you can actually demonstrate your willingness to still grow and learn. Other than that, you are following after people that are puffed up. The earliest translation of the Old Testament in the Greek did not replace the Tetragrammaton, YHWH, with the Greek word Lord Kyrios. And we actually showed that. Well, we brought a little bit of that out with the Codex Marcellianus. Yeah, I said it. The Codex Marcellianus. 4Q120 from K. For Qumran of the Dead Sea Scrolls is a fragment of Leviticus 4:27 where the Tetragrammaton Yahweh appears. Excuse me, I was a little too fast. Where the Tetragrammaton Yahweh appears. This scroll was made by Hebrews in the what? 1st century BC. Yay. It is a definitive proof that the Tetragrammaton was pronounced Yahweh by native speakers of biblical Hebrew.
So what we see here is, it's said, if I get an edition of the Septuagint today, every occurrence, or most of the occurrences in the Old Testament of the Tetragrammaton, YHWH, God's special name, are going to be rendered by the Greek word kurios, meaning Lord. However, when I look at Greek manuscripts of the Old Testament that come from the Dead Sea Scrolls and from that period, I will find that on the whole, those Greek manuscripts do not.
He said from manuscripts from the Dead Sea Scrolls and from others of that period. We got to keep in mind, man, and listen to what they're saying. If we go and travel to that side of the world and we go to these museums that hold these things, like the Rockefeller Museum and things of that sort, man, then you would see more than just one or two documents or maybe a video and an artifact or two. You'll actually be able to see the manuscripts that is just a continuous, a scriptural continuous or scriptia continuous. It's there.
Not use the word kurios, the Old Testament that come from the Dead Sea Scrolls and from that period, I will find that on the whole, those Greek manuscripts do not use the word kurios, Lord, rendering the Tetragrammaton. One of them from the K4. I will find that on the whole, those Greek manuscripts do not use the word kurios, Lord, rendering the Tetragrammaton. One of them from the K4 Qumran uses yao,
Fragment reads as follows. Ean de psiuchim yamartekos sirsek tulautoiskes en topo yeisen yana popasonton entolon yao, upayete setai, kai play merese. This document is proof of how the divine name is supposed to be pronounced, and it comes from the people who actually spoke biblical Hebrew as their mother tongue. These people were not heathens. These people were Zedekiah priests of Yahushua or Israel. Dr. Martin Rosette stated, obviously, the text preserved the divine name as it was spoken. The text it's talking about is the 4Q120.
There we go.
Dr. Martin Rosette.
That's another axe flow. So when we had a conversation with one of them people, and they said there isn't any scholars that says that his name is Yao. Well, there goes an axe flow.
Stated, obviously, the text preserved the divine.
Dr. Martin Roselle, he stated obviously. What? It's obvious. Not oh, you got to look into it, or oh no, you got to blindly believe, or oh, you got to stretch it, and if you use your imagination, then it'll work. It's obviously the text. 4Q120 does what? It preserves the divine name as it was spoken. What is the source it is? M. Russell or Martin, Dr. Russell, Martin Russell, Names of God, Encyclopedia of the Dead Sea Scrolls, L. Shipman and J.C. Vanderkamp, Education, Oxford University Press, 2007, page 416, man. What else can you say, man?
Name as it was spoken. The text it's talking about is the 4Q120. God's name is translated correctly in Greek as Iota, Alpha, and Omega. But going back to the Talmud tome, the writer used Omicron instead of Omega. Why does it matter that using Omega is the right way instead of Omicron? It matters because one of the rules in Greek is when the letter Alpha was followed by Omega, it produces its own natural glottal stop between A sound and an O sound. So you don't need to write any divider to tell the reader it's pronounced like A, O. Now if you use Omicron, it simply becomes a diphthong making it sound ow. And if you read Iota, Alpha, Omicron, read it as Yao, just like the basketball celebrity Yao Ming. But the good thing in Talmud tome inscription is that the divider was written to make sure it's pronounced correctly as it should be, Yao. Moving on to another basis that his name is pronounced Yao, is when one of the greatest historians named Diodorus of Sicily was told by the native Hebrew speakers in 60 BCE how God's name was pronounced. He used the same spelling Iota, Alpha, Omega just like all these Zadokat priests did. BCE, how God's name was pronounced.
Papyri. My bad, I was just trying to pause it, man. My bad, yo.
The greatest historians named Diodorus of Sicily was...
All right. It says right here, also, among many other nations, this is what this says. All right. Also, among many other nations, it has been traditional that this type of concept existed and was the cause of much good to those who believed it. For accounts state that among the Aryan Zarathustra claimed that the good spirit gave him his laws, and among those called the Gitaea, who fancied themselves immortal, Zalmoxis, claimed likewise concerning the goddess Comet Hestia. And among the Jews, Moses did the same concerning the god invoked as Yahweh. I'm just telling you, man. What you not talking about? I don't see nothing that's saying Yahweh. I don't see something that's saying Yahuwah. I don't see nothing saying Yahweh. I don't see nothing saying Jehovah. This is not what his name is. There's nothing that's saying Ahaya. This is historically documented from what? Diodorus, the Bibliotheca, probably the first chapter, 94.2, whatever they're talking about. What you talking about? From 60 BC? All praise to the Most High Power. This is ancient information, not only coming from the Hebrews. This is just what was already known, commonly understood back in the historical periods. I'm trying to tell you, my people, man, it's a blessed day that we get to learn these things.
Was told by the native Hebrew speakers in 60 BCE how God's name was pronounced. He used the same spelling Iota Alpha Omega, just like how the Zadokat priests did. Theodoret, who lived somewhere in 393 to 458 AD, also heard how God's name is pronounced by the Israelites long before Masoretes ever existed. Heathen Samaritans pronounce it as Yahweh, and they pronounce it wrong. But the Yahush all pronounce it as Yao. They said it correctly because it's their God. Do these evidences satisfy them, and they pronounce it wrong. But the Yahush all
Do y'all see this? This is more.
Well, what's this? Okay, what's his name?
This is another historian. Theodoret. From 393 to 458 AD. It says he heard us say the Father's name before the Masoretes ever existed. The heathen Samaritans said it wrong. We said it right. That's what this is saying right here. And so the Jews read it in the days of Theodoret, who in Exodus 15 and chapter 15 in Exodus says the Samaritans called it Yahweh, but the Jews Yahweh. The Jews called his name Yahweh. The Yahweh and the Yahweh, it's kind of like interchangeable. The B and the W. That's a Samaritan. That's a Samaritan way of doing it. That's when they fell off, worshiping double calves and stuff.
So the Masoretes, those are the Jewish people?
I assume that's what he's talking about, yes.
Okay.
Because the Jewish people, I guess they got some stuff going on. I think it was like 600. So this is before 600. So that's probably why he chose to make that point definitely known right there. But the source of this right here that we see, this comes from Gregory Sharpe. His book is called Two Desertions. One is that upon the origin, construction, and division and relation of languages. Guy from London in 1751. This is on page 92. And then this is what you see right here at the top. That's homeboy Ravenous Bird. This is what he's saying right here. This is Ravenous Bird's speech. But this is the historian, Gregory Sharpe. Not only is he a historian, he's a scholar, whatever. This is what he had to say. That's another axe blow.
Pronounce it as Yao. They said it correctly because it's their God. Do these evidences satisfy you already? If not, let's move on to another language. The divine name is not only transliterated in Greek, but also transliterated in Latin and many more languages. Saint Jerome transliterated the Tetragrammaton as IAHO to have preserved the pronunciation of the old transliteration of the Tetragrammaton. In the book CCL 72, 191, it says, Nomen domini apud Hebraios quator literarum est Yod he Waw he, quod proprie de vocabulum sonet et legi potest Yao. In Latin, the letter J is letter of Hebraios quator literarum.
Do you see that? Yo, hey, Wah hey. YH.
Est Yod he Waw he, quod proprie de vocabulum sonet et legi potest.
All right, homeboy, I was saying it too, man. Okay, YHWH. What is it?
Yao.
YAHO.
What's this for?
We can go off the lies, or we can actually just go on ahead and take the information.
191, it says, Nomen domini apud Hebraios.
Drawing that a little bit more. Okay.
Consideration of the tetragrammaton. In the book CCL 72.191, it says,
Okay.
Nomen domini apud
That's the
Hebraios.
name of the book. Oops.
Yep. CCL 172.
Yes.
But the Yahweh shall all pronounce it as. The divine name is not only transliterated in Greek, but also transliterated in Latin and many more languages. Saint Jerome transliterated the tetragrammaton as IAHO to have preserved the pronunciation of the old transliteration of the tetragrammaton. In the book CCL 72.191, it says, Nomen domini apud Hebraios quator literarum est Yod he Waw he, quod proprie de vocabulum sonet et legi potest Yao. In Latin, the letter J is letter apud Hebraios quator literarum est Yod he Waw he.
All right. It says right here, such a work gives strong evidence for the appearance of Yao. In the earliest Septuagint, similar later Christians suppress Yao, as apparently may have happened beforehand in the Septuagint itself. Jerome, that's another Israelite, but from the ancient days, from the Christian era. Jerome, 346 to 420 AD. Commenting much later on Psalms 8.2 says of the Tetragrammaton, it may be read Yao, which probably preserves a reference to this old transliteration. And then in the CCL 72, 1971, this is obviously somebody's commentary. But then this right here, it's saying that the Yod Hey Wah Hey is Yao also. And whatever this document is called, the CCL 72.191, why is it named that way or how is it named that way? I don't really know. But I'm sure that if you look this up, this is what you are going to get. This is just another historical reference. The point is it's Yao, and there's nothing in here where you can get Yahweh out of that. You can't get Yahweh out of this. You can't get Yahuwah out of this. You can't get anything but Yao. This is history. This is what it was. All the other names that people are going off of is not actually, quote unquote, historically accurate.
Quod proprie de vocabulum sonet et legi potest Yao. In Latin, the letter J is literally invented for the Y sound in 15th century AD. But at the time of Jerome, the letter J didn't yet existed, so the letter I is used. It's the same as the Greek letter iota, where the E sound is produced whenever it was followed by a consonant. But if it's a vowel, it's a Y sound. Now the Latin letter H at the time of Jerome is an H sound if it's the first letter of a word, but if it's not, it's a silent letter. And Latin adopted that rule from ancient Hebrew, so IAHO is read clearly as Yao. One more evidence in Latin is when Josephus also recorded the same vocalization. According to this book, the works of Flavius Josephus, the author didn't yet heard something about the real pronunciation, and they falsely pronounce it as Yehovah or Jehovah. But then, it's their first time to hear the pronunciation from the passage of Josephus to have been originally pronounced Yao. Again, This book was transliterated in 1895, so it's not surprising that the translator used letter J. But that letter J is a Y sound in Latin, and the H is silent if not the first letter of a word. Therefore, Jahoh is pronounced Yao, while the other one, Jao, cannot be Yao, because the vowels A and O cannot be a diphthong OW in Latin. Latin doesn't have this sound of diphthong. So Jao.
They don't have that kind of diphthong. They don't take an A and an O and then turn it into a ow or a ooh or a ah or anything in the Latin language. That O was always O in Latin. Ooh, that stings. That stings. That is the hard fact beyond a reason to be able to doubt that his name was actually recorded as any other name other besides, you know what I'm saying, this one right here, you know what I'm saying, they wildin'. But before they had this is what we had. Yao is never, I think, heard of till this passage of Josephus. And this superstition in not pronouncing that name has continued among the rabbinical Jews to this day. Though whether the Samaritans and the Carites observed it so early does not appear. Josephus. Why? Because the Samaritans called him what? Yabe. What? The Samaritans called him Yabe. That's why it's not seen amongst the Samaritans. Josephus also does not set down the very words of the Ten Commandments as well. As we shall see here after in Antiquities, which superstitious silence has yet been not discontinued even by the rabbis. There is, however, no doubt, but both these cautious concealments were taught Josephus by the Pharisees, a body of men at once very wicked and very superstitious. You see that? That's talking about the hiding of the name. The concealment, the cautious concealment.
Also pronounced Yao. Dating to the 4th century BCE, the Israelite Psalms was recorded in an Egyptian papyrus, Papyrus Amherst 63. It was likely
Write that down.
To the 4th century BCE, the Israelite Psalms was recorded in an Egyptian papyrus,
Papyrus Amherst 63. You pull up the Papyrus Amherst 63, and here it is. And it contains the proper name of God also.
Was Amherst 63. It was created by the descendants of the Armenian and Judean soldiers who in the 5th century BCE had been stationed in the southern Egyptian border. It was recorded in the cursive script derived from Egyptian hieroglyphs, the specific Demotic script. In the art.
This is from the 4th century BC, 400 years before Christ. This is what was going down with the Israelites. This is how they wrote the name Yao. You see this language? You see this? Boom, boom, boom. That's the Demotic translation. This is the hieroglyphic text. That's Yao. I'm gonna let the British man rock this out.
In the southern Egyptian border. It was recorded in the cursive script derived from.
Wait, this another source?
Specific
yes.
Demotic script.
This is the proprietor Amherst.
Oh, okay, all right.
In the article Egyptian Papyrus Sheds New Light on Jewish History in July or August 2018 issue of Biblical Archeology Review, author Karel van der Toorn contends that 3 Israelite psalms appear in Papyrus Amherst 63. Read some few words from van der Toorn's translations of the psalms from Papyrus Amherst 63. May Yahweh answer us in our troubles. May Adonai answer us in our troubles. Be above in heaven, crescent. Send your messengers from all rush and forms upon. May Yahweh help us. May Yahweh give to us our heart's desire. May the Lord give to us our heart's desire. Every wish may Yahweh fulfill. May Yahweh fulfill. May Adonai not diminish any request of our heart. Some by the bow, some by the spear. Behold, as for us, thy Lord, our God is Yahweh. May our bow be with us, may Bethel answer us tomorrow. But also mine shall bless the Lord. Your loyal ones, I bless you. The Demotic script transliteration read as YHW.
You see that? What do you? There's nothing that you can do about it. There's nothing that we can actually sit around here and try to say, his name is not Yahweh. This was a whole prayer. In an Egyptian papyrus from the Jews from the 4th century BC. If that doesn't actually, you know what I mean, fill your hunger for what is the real name of God, then you just don't want to accept obvious information.
But also mine shall bless the Lord. Your loyal ones, I bless you. The Demotic script transliteration read as YHW. It's the transliteration of the hieroglyphic text like this one. The first glyph is read as Yah. The next glyph is a vowel placeholder, only treated as silent, and the terminal W is a matter O vowel. Thus, it's read as Yah-O. Now another language, Imperial Aramaic. The name Yao is also written in an Imperial Aramaic language used in Elephantine Papyrus 5th century BCE. In the Book of Cowley, it says the fourth line, the Yao is also written in an Imperial.
This is the Elephantine Papyrus. Didn't we already write this down earlier? Akmalak.
I can't forget I'm on mute. No, I don't got that one. Elephantine.
The Elephantine Papyri. You gotta write that down too. That is another.
Can you rewind a little bit so I can get the name?
He didn't put the name.
Oh, okay.
It's ELEPHANTINE,
all right.
Elephantine, and then Papyri, PAPYRI.
Okay, Elephantine Papyri. Man, that's one.
It's from the 5th century BC.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sources already, man.
Huh?
That's 7 sources.
Damn, 7 sources?
7. In different languages too. We went from Greek to Latin. Well, what was the last one we just had?
That was Germanic.
Yeah, Germanic. Yeah.
Demotic.
Oh, demotic.
Not demonic.
Demotic.
Yeah, D-E-M-O-T-I-C. Demotic. That was a demotic translation from the Egyptian papyri. That was originally written in Egyptian hieroglyphics. It was written in Egyptian hieroglyphics, but it was translated into what was called the demotic language.
Aramaic language used in Elephantine Papyrus 5th century BCE. In the Book of Cowley, it says the fourth line, Yao Elaha Biye Bir'ata. Again, the earliest form of transliterating the Tetragrammaton into Imperial Aramaic is only 2 letters commonly known as Yod and Waw. But then, the other way of writing it is by using the letter commonly known as He, which is used more likely as a silent vowel placeholder, or to inform the reader that there's a pause between Yod and Waw. So, for the earliest form, Yod and Waw.
So either way, either it was silent or it was a placeholder in this language, but regardless, it still maintained the proper actual transliteration pronunciation, which is Ya and then O.
The first syllable is read as Ya, while the last syllable is O or U. But the older pronunciation in other language uses O vowel, so it must be O. So the earliest transliteration Yod and Waw was read Yao. For another way of writing, which was found in Elephantine papyri, the letter He is silent. So Yod He Wa in Imperial Aramaic is Ya silent O, also read Yao. The Imperial Aramaic is different language and cannot be compared to Hebrew, so the transliteration Yod He Wa is not the shortened.
So this is the Aramaic language.
Form of the Tetragrammaton. The Tetragrammaton in Masoretic Hebrew uses Aramaic script. Aramaic's first script, ancient Hebrew script, so don't confuse it to Imperial Aramaic that use almost identical script. They are different languages, just like Greek and Hebrew are different. Going forth to the much older transliteration in 8th century BC.
Here's another one. The Tiglath-Pileser III. You see this right here? This is another.
What was it called? Oh, that's the right there. The holy name in Arcadian Royals Anapos. Okay.
Yes, the Akkadian Royal Annals, the Tiglath-Pileser or Pileser the third. From where? 745 to 726 BC. 8 centuries BC. There's nothing else to say.
Man,
these are nails in the coffin. There is nothing that we can say. They're like, oh, okay, it's pretty obvious now. It's like, oh, his name is Yao.
The symbol Yo was written in our Akkadian with IA sign.
The syllable Ya, is it small?
Oh yeah, well yeah, it looked like Yo.
Oh yeah, I can't make it bigger.
Oh yeah, you're right.
The syllable Ya was written in Akkadian with what? An I and an A. That's the I and the A. Comes out as Ya. That the vowel A and U, they put it together. The vowels A and U contracted to O were written in Akkadian with the U sign. So they would use the U to make the O sound. Unlike the English language, we use the U to make the sound. That's what is being said here. So in the Akkadian language, it's Ya, Y-A, and then A-U, which is O. Just like in the English language, we got the A-O. The A-O says O. Like in oatmeal or boat, right? And the guy that actually literally broke this down was a historian and a scholar by the name of A. Westenholz. In his studies called the phoneme O in Akkadian. ZA 81, 1991. It would be through the pages 10 through pages 19 is where he covers this.
Was written in Akkadian with an IA sign. The vowels A plus U contracted to O as in August were written in Akkadian with a U sign. Thus the pronunciation is also Yao. The oldest transliteration is none other than the Egyptian hieroglyph inscription in Solid Temple in Nubia, Egypt, which was written by Amenhotep III. He knew the exodus of the people of Yahushua leaving Egypt, and he knew what happened to the Egyptians in Egypt when Masha uttered the divine name. Here's the inscription made by Amenhotep III. The inscription of these Medoneller or Egyptian hieroglyphs read as N16 depicted as horizontal strip of land. M8 depicted as pool with lotus flowers. M23 sedge plant glyph. G43 quail chick glyph. M14 double weed glyph. O4 shelter glyph. V4 lasso glyph. G1 falcon glyph. This glyph in the inscription was thought to be G43, but the recent update by the Egyptologist named Tyrus Kennedy just proved it's G1.
What?
It was thought to be G43, but the recent update by the Egyptologist named Tyrus Kennedy just proved it's G1.
Tyrus Kennedy
This
proved that is actually G1, not G43. Very important, because it actually seals the deal.
Yeah, there's a difference too. If you look at G43 and G1, they don't even look the same.
They really don't. You're right. This does look like a falcon.
Yep, and then like you see that the G1 don't got an eye, but G43 got an eye and nothing in the back of its head. Like
Right.
G1 got something in the back of its head.
Right, yo. And it's actually prostrated differently if you look at it.
Yeah.
See how they made this one like, but this one he's more like, what's up? I'm up there. It's not the same. He only got one hump. Homeboy got yoked out neck, and then he got something popping. Yoked out neck, and then he got something popping. Doom. This is the real deal. Watch how these guys break down this Egyptian language.
Glyph in the inscription was thought to be G43, but the recent update by the Egyptologist named Tyrus Kennedy just proved it's G1. The first glyph is a biliteral sign Ta, which means land. The second glyph is a biliteral sign Sha. The third and fourth glyph forms a group. This group was read as Su. So the second glyph Sha and the group Su read as Shasu. There's no such people ever called Shasu. It's just a word for nomads. And nomads means people without permanent habitation. These nomads are the children of Yahushua. For the next...
Oh, and to let you guys know what this is called, on how to look this up, it's called the Shashu inscription. You type in S-H-A-S-H-A-S-U, and then the word inscription. And it'll lead you instantly to this, and in others, it'll be this in the breakdown. This is not information that is no longer hidden and inaccessible. It's just that now you got to get out of what you already has accepted with what was right, and you got to go and do your studies and actually make sure, like it says, man, study to show yourself approved. You got to prove that his name is Yahweh. You got to prove that his name is Yahweh, and you got to use history, and you got to use archaeology as old as or older than Tiglath-Pileser's the third annals. All right. You gotta use something that goes back, or is just as old as the Akkadian royal annals of Tiglath-Pileser III. Yeah, I said it. Other than that, repent and change your message to your people instantaneously. If you really feel like that his name is very much that important, then you got to go ahead and make this right.
Word. The first group, M14 and O4, was read as Yah, Yah. And the last group, V4 and G1, was read as O when placed at the end of Egyptian group writing. But it's a W if placed at the beginning of an Egyptian group writing, and a W or O if placed in the middle. Since this group was placed at the end, it can only be an O vowel. So this whole word read as Yao. This Maronara inscription read as Ta Shasu Yao, land of the nomads of Yao. This inscription describes the nomad people of Yao living in Canaan next door to Egypt. The name Yao is not the name of the land.
So, Ta is how you say land. Shasu in Egypt is how you say nomads. and then Yao. And like you said, there is no land ever in history that was named Yao.
Because there's no land sign in there. The native Egyptians are so afraid to Yao. They accept all deity, all foreign deity, except for the one whose name is Yao. And you can clearly notice it because there's no native sign or deity sign when there. It means it's not a deity that native Egyptians worship. They are afraid to Yao because of what happened in 15th century BCE when the people of Yao Sha'al left Mitzrayim or Egypt. Exodus 7 verse 5.
ويدايو ماتريم خياني ياو بانتسي أسيادي غال ماتريم وهوتسي أسباني ياو شرال ماثوخام.
And the Egyptians will know that I am Yah.
Exodus 7 and 5. There you go, man. That is the connection. That is the precept to the Shashu inscription. It's Exodus 7 and 5, and the Egyptians will know that I am Yahweh when I stretch forth my hand upon Mitzrayim and bring out the children of Israel from among them.
Where's that at though? That's what's this?
This is Exodus 7 and 5.
Oh, okay, that's it. All right.
That backs up the reason why we see the Shashu inscription still existing amongst the artifacts of Egypt. All praises to the Heavenly Father, man. Because he preserved his word. He preserved his word, and he actually preserved the true pronunciation of his name. And darn near every captivity our people went in.
Then I stretch forth my hand upon Mitzrayim, and I bring out the sons of Yahushua from among them. Well, now that we already have these evidences that this name is pronounced Yao, how it is read Yao according to the ancient Hebrew phonetics. This is the four-letter name of God written in original ancient Hebrew script. It was called Tetragrammaton in Greek, which means consisting of 4 letters. If you read that as Yod-He Vav-He, Yod-He Waw-He, YHWH, YHBH, YHQH, Yahweh, Yahuwah, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yewa, Yahu, Yahweh, Hewe, Yeve, Yehovah, Yehovah, Jehovah, Yahab, Yavahe, and the list goes on and on. You're not in the truth. What you have is a wrong information about the real phonetics of ancient Hebrew. They all didn't have any single proofs that they are pronounced like that. There's only one way to say this name, and that is according to the phonetics of ancient Hebrew or Kalabari. The letter Yah is only consonant heard in the name of God, and it's simply pronounced with an inherent short A vowel, Yah. The letter Ha is a silent vowel placeholder because it was followed by a vowel. The letter Wa is a long O vowel because it's not the first letter of a word. Therefore, it's read as Yao. And the last letter Ha is a silent letter again, still read Yao. His name is pronounced Yao, but to write in another way is to spell it as Y-A-O-H, still read Yao. Transliteration can be spelled in many different ways as long as you capture the most accurate pronunciation. The name Yao can be spelled in many different ways in English, but the pronunciation must never alter, which the pronunciation is the most important. His name is Yao, and it came back to this modern day according to the prophecy, and it's very old as what we can see in these transliterations, and like these fake names are that much older. Some originated in 200 AD, 900 AD, but most of them are of 20th century. So what about the word Yah? The word Yah appeared 49 times in the Hebrew Bible. This is not a proper name. It is a title used only by Yahweh. He's the only one that can use this word Yah because Yah means eternal, for he is the only eternal. Just like the title Pogus, only one person can bear this title. Queen James Bible substituted the word Yah for the word Lord in Isaiah 12 verse 2, while the word the Lord is Jehovah, whereas the capital letters L-O-R-D is commonly used as a word in case of the Tetragrammaton. So many people are confused on what really is the word Yah. Keep in mind that Yahweh does not have a nickname. Nicknames are short pet form names abbreviated from real names. Example, Will for William, Tom for Thomas, Mike for Michael, Steve for Stephen, Sam for Samuel, etc. Not one of the gods worshipped in the ancient Near East where the people of Yahushua originated had a nickname. Not one. For example, you will never find the pagan Assyrian god Ashur's name shortened to just Ash, nor will you ever find an example of the pagan god Nabu shortened to just Nab, nor the pagan god Marduk's name shortened to just Mar or March in its pronunciation, since this never happens with the names of these false gods, because the people who worship them had too much respect for them to treat their names in a non-common way. It is absurd to think the ancient Hebrews gave their deity a pet nickname. So where this notion that Yah is an abbreviated nickname of the Creator come from? It comes from the German scholar named Heinrich Friedrich Wilhelm Gesenius. Gesenius' Hebrew lexicon states that Yah is an abbreviation of Yod-He Vav-He, or the Tetragrammaton. And just where did Gesenius get this understanding from? He pulled it straight out of his own ass. There's not one shred of literary comparative linguistic evidence that you can muster to support Gesenius' view that Yah is an abbreviation, but his view is the one almost everyone cites today as an established fact for lack of a better alternative. Yeshua Yah 12 verse 2.
Ana, al Yahshua الضخ والأبخاد خيغزي وزمرات يا ياو ويا لياشوان.
Behold, God is my salvation. I will trust and not be afraid, for my strength and my songs eternal. Yahweh has become salvation to me.
We're continuing our Summer at Hope City series.
Boom. All right. So you seen that, and you're like, whoa, why did they use the name Yah in there? You're like, because they got that based off of right here.
Psalm 68?
No. Psalm 68 had to get it from somewhere. Right here. It's called the Song of Moses. It's used for songs. He said it's called an apocope. It's used for songs in a poetic form. To me, if you look at it, it's to make it rhyme and to not use it in vain. He said, then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto Yahweh. Moses and spake, saying, I will sing unto Yah. Look. It says sing unto Yahweh. You see that his name is right there. It's telling you. But look. I will sing unto Yahweh. Hold on. Whoa. Where's that? It's supposed to be right there. Hold on. Give me a second. Unto Yahweh, for he has conquered gloriously. He has thrown us. Oh, right here. My bad. Verse 2. Excuse me. My bad, y'all. I thought I was in verse 2. I was like, what am I doing? Okay. He said, Yah. See that? Do you see that? Y'all there? Last time I did this. You see what I'm saying? I knew it. Last time
I see it, man. My bad, man.
No, I'm just saying that. I had to say something. I had to be like, talk to me. Because I'm like, wait, last time it was silent. Man, I was gassing for 45 minutes and it wasn't even, man, I was talking to my damn self.
Yeah, Con, I see it.
For 45 minutes. So I'm not going to do that no more. No, but look, that's where they got it from. The first time you see the word Yah,
is in the song.
It's talking about in songs. You see that?
Yep.
Yah is my strength. Or in other words, the eternal. That's what Yah means. It means eternal. Is my strength and song. He has become my Yahushai. Yeshua, but yeah, whatever. Where he's become my salvation. You see that?
Yeah.
Yahshua. Yeah, that's Yahshua. Yahshua. He has become my Yahshua. He is my El. And I will prepare him a habitation. My father's God. And I will exalt him. So you see this? This is the song. That's why when we go into another song.
Yeah. Psalms, yeah, 68.
Here's another song.
Yeah. And it says sing praises.
Keep saying. Right?
Yeah.
Sing unto God. Sing praises to his name. Extol him that rides upon the heavens by his name, Yah. And rejoice before him. Oh, so when we're singing, you use this.
Yeah, use Yah.
Oh, but when we're praying, we are to use Yah-oh. And we got another song. Right? Here's another song. And in that day thou shalt say, O Lord, I will praise thee. Thou and thy, though thou was angry with me, thy anger is turned away, and thou comfortest me. Behold, God is my salvation. I will trust and not be afraid. For Yah, or Yah, Yah-oh, or the eternal Yah-oh is my strength and my soul. He also is become my salvation. He is my what? For Yah, Yah-oh is my strength and my ding, 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 ding.
Come on now.
Song. So when you singing, it's appropriate to say his name, Yah, because you will be, it can be used in vain. You could not be praying and not be actually even trying to invoke him. But like it was read when we just now read in Theodoret, he said that his name was invoked by Moses by the name Yah-oh. So when you're using that, you're invoking him. And you don't want to just be sitting around there messing with God like that. You don't want to play with him. That's why in the songs that was from our forefathers, they protected us and shielded us from being hit upside the head with the uses of vain speech.
We got Judah. And he says, Yah's Greek, man. You see, the thing is, you should have been watching this whole time that we've been having this conversation. And at any time, you feel free to hit that link. We've been showing not only in Greek, in all languages.
We showed in all languages. We showed it in Greek. We showed it in Akkadian. We showed it in the Elephantine Papyrus. We showed it in the
Domotic
Aramaic
language.
We showed it in Latin.
Domotic.
We showed it in the Domotic.
Yeah, the Egyptians, the Egyptian language.
It's in the
hieroglyphs.
Right. We showed it in 7 different languages. It was retained in 7 different languages. And it goes all the way back to way before the Greeks was. We look at the Tiglath-Pileser's
Akkadian 745.
Akkadian Royal Annals. It goes all the way back to 745 BC. And it's recorded even in the Akkadian language as Yah-oh.
So you know what I mean? You got to get up off this. It's all in Greek stuff, man. You tripping. And hey, I'll tell you this. In none of these inscriptions, they never ever in all these languages never ever translated the Most High's name as Yahweh.
They never did. You absolutely correct. They have never ever one time at all said that his name was Yahweh. There is no transliteration that actually resonates that pronunciation. You see what I'm saying? This is one of those guys. He says Yahweh is Greek. That's a demon. Listen, Yahweh is Greek. So you serve some strange Greek gods. Torah Knights looking at everybody. What? If Yahweh ain't using you, he don't like you. Or you're not an Israelite. You're like, wow, demonic. This is demonic. That's a demonic statement to just say to somebody when we just now proved it.
Facts.
You be like, wow. So it comes out. The word is like a piercing sword that pierces even unto the heart and departs a man asunder. Because they like, wow, because it's sharper than any two-edged sword.
God
has preserved his pronunciation, and we see that you ain't bold enough to hit no links and actually say anything and deal with it, because you know that you're gonna fall on your neck. Because in all actuality, nobody else has any historical or archaeological evidence to prove that his name is Yahweh. None at all. None at all. Absolutely none at all. All praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. We invoke the Almighty by his real true name that was preserved by our forefathers. And even from some of the enemies that learned that they don't mess with that one God right there. Knowing that the Egyptians, they was willing to worship any God. They worshiped all gods. But they feared the name Yahweh. Yeah, I said it. With that being said, man, Kwam Yasharala, my people. We're going to have to learn how to utilize this language, what? Properly. And not go off of our own understanding and leaning off our own understanding and not actually studying to show ourselves approved, instead of constantly recycling and regurgitating and staying in the exact same position that we were first in, which was the area of not knowing and in ignorance. Nobody's mad at you for making a mistake. This is not to even condemn the people that believe that his name was Yahweh. But this is actually to set the record straight and to give you that seed planted to where hopefully you don't have enough pride. I mean, hopefully you have enough humbleness inside of you, and pride is not puffing you up to where you can actually take the information, analyze it, and receive it as proof. Other than that, you guys got to come with a viable counterpart. You got to come with a viable counterpart. And listen, stuff like this, comments like this, is not viable counterparts. That's just defeat. What you're seeing right here. This is what you see is called defeat. Someone that is like, hey, you just now destroyed everything that I had inside my mind. And instead of me respecting the game and saying, all right, man, I tip my hat to that, they end up hating me. That's Israelite stuff. They did it to Christ, they'll do it to us too. You know, it's not a big deal. Christ tells us to rejoice when people want to sit around here and, passive aggressively hate you or curse you. This is a passive aggressive curse. If Yahweh ain't using you, he don't like you. You just hope that he doesn't like you now. If Yahweh ain't an Israelite, no, you just wish that I wasn't an Israelite. And then what kind of Israelite want to wish other Israelites to not be Israelites?
Come on, man.
It's weird. It's pathetic. And they do it from the sideline too. You know what I mean?
Gotta hate, man. You gotta hate for your brother without a cause. You know what I mean? Come on, man. This not how you, like, if you trying to, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to teach, or are you trying to, bring people down? Are you trying to build people up, or are you trying to bring them down?
Trying to tear them up?
That's not in a quote unquote same caliber or same understanding as you. You just look at a person like, oh, because you don't understand how I understand, but Yahweh ain't liking you. That's like a curse. He don't like you. You're not an Israelite. Like, you ain't his child. Come on, man. That's not how you build up that valley of dry bones, man. I'll tell you that.
And coming off
you're a well full of salt and fresh water, man. What's wrong with you?
And jumping off the porch with the ignorant statement like, y'all is Greek. It's like, you didn't hear the information? You don't know about history? Yeah, we were speaking the Greek language. We spoke Greek.
Yes, and y'all was just a transliteration.
Yes,
it remained the same in all languages when it went.
Right. It actually preserved the pronunciation. And
Yep.
we got scholars, we got more than one scholar, we got historical scholars, and we got modern scholars that's all saying the exact same thing. Nobody is struggling with what his name was actually pronounced. Why aren't the Christians using it? It's because at the end of the day, it will raise God. And they know that they ain't right. It invokes God to use his name properly. And they don't want that. I'm talking about the leaders, the church leaders, the ones that knows who we really are, knows that they're masquerading and they're frauds, knows that they are actually lying about the word of God and blaspheming his name every day. They know that. They're like, shoot, man, you can't be invoking him because I be lying every day. I lie every week to these people. I'm gonna tell them, why HWH? Yeah, that's Jehovah. Who cares? I don't know. Who cares? Even though we know that the V is new, even though we know that the J is new, well, we'll tell them anyway. Why? They blind. Don't believe anything now. And same as well with our brothers too. When Israelites turned around and said, his name is Yahweh. His name is Yahweh. His name is Yahuwah. The ones that they just blindly accepted it. And that's your fault. You never looked at the actual historical references. It's right there in the book of Josephus. I don't even know how anybody missed it. And everybody claims that they are, well-seasoned Israelites. Everybody claims that they are the one that knows. But you don't even know the book of Josephus. You don't even know that the book of Josephus actually literally has his name pronounced properly, written in it. Our people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, man. Just knowing that you're an Israelite is not the epiphany of the knowledge that you need to know. Like, man, wow. Knowing you an Israelite is not I'm going to say it one more time. Yeah, I said it. Knowing that you are an Israelite is not the pinnacle of your knowledge, okay? That is not all that you can / need to know. Yeah, I said it. That is not all that you can / need to know. You can know more than just, I'm an Israelite. You need to know more than just that you are an Israelite. You want to be the master of the invoking of the almighty power? Well, you better get down to history. Other than that, you being a fool. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said all that. Battle Axe Finneas. He went around here online talking about people's fools that they don't want to study. And they want to go ahead and just believe whatever somebody else said. Yeah. It's called being gullible. Presumptuous. That's a sin. Go read the book of Leviticus. Okay? The sins of ignorance also. For those that really thought that they were just on the right, they were being led by the right leader. This guy was teaching you the right message. Well, hey, man, that's on you, man. For being ignorant. There's grace in all that. You better believe it. There's a way of not being punished for being ignorant. You better believe that. But if you don't address your issue, repent, guess what's going to happen to you? Your sin will still remain upon you. Yeah, I said it.
Bring it out.
Speaking to the children of Israel and say, if a soul shall sin through ignorance against any of the commandments of the Lord, concerning the things which ought not to be done, and shall do it any against them. Next chapter. Why are you going to do it like that? That's just the way I do something. And if a soul shall commit, and if a soul shall sin and commit any of these things which are forbidden to be done by the commandment of the Lord, though he knew it not. What? Though he knew it not. Huh? Even though he didn't know. He's guilty. He shall bear his iniquity. You still get tripped on. You must repent.
Calm.
You must repent. Let me get the one where it says even the people. They were like, yeah, so that's how you just go around. You just be just running around in the script. Well, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the words of God is still speaking to you. You know what I'm saying? It's not me. Oh, previous chapter, excuse me. It says, so if the priest sin, so a lot of people they sit in the seat of Moses. A lot of people they sit in the seat of Aaron. Whether they know it, they substitute priests sometimes. You know, some of these cats are doing this. But and if the whole congregation of Israel sinned through ignorance, like running around saying that his name is something that it's not, so you're using his name in vain because you're still attaching that Yah to everything, and that makes it already like, okay, we know who you're talking about, but why are you messing up with the rest of his name? Ooh, that's like when somebody sits around trying to call somebody half of their name, but then use the other half in a disrespectful manner. Like a dude named Chris. Somebody says Chris Piss. You be like, ooh. Well, people is doing that with God's name when they are taking his real name and then defiling and murking up the other half of his name. Yeah, I said it. That's what you're doing. He said, and if the whole congregation of Israel sinned through ignorance, and the thing be hid from the eyes of the assembly, and they have done somewhat against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which should be done. If they have done what? Somewhat against. So that means you could be halfway wrong. You done somewhat against any of the commandments. Thou shalt not use the Lord's name in vain, but I did it. You're like, well, somewhat, because that's not his real pronunciation. You know that, right? No, I didn't know. I thought Yahweh was a real name. Judah Nazareth told me. He told me that I'm not an Israelite unless I use it like that. You're right. Well, did he show you any type of historical reference or any type of archaeology to back that up? No, I actually just believed it through ignorance. You're guilty, man. He said, and they have done somewhat against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning the things which should be not done, and they are guilty. When the sin which they have sinned against it is known, then the congregation shall offer a young bullock for the sin and bring him before the tabernacle of the congregation. In other words, you must repent and you got to atone. You must atone for your sins. He said, and he shall do with the bullock as he did with the bullock for a sin offering. So shall he do with this. And the priest shall make an atonement for them, and it shall be forgiven them. All right? So you have to atone. And that goes for even people that got platforms. When a ruler has sinned or has done somewhat through ignorance. So you say, well, I'm not a priest. Well, you're still a ruler of your platform. You got a channel? You got an internet platform? You better not sit around here and start trying to lie and say that you don't be sitting around here trying to utilize that as some type of position of power over people. You'll say, don't interrupt me on my own platform. Okay, Mr. Ruler. All right now. You got it. You got it. Well, you better change the way that you're using his name, because you do sin somewhat. When a ruler has sinned and has done somewhat through ignorance against any of the commandments of the Lord his God concerning things which should not be done, and is guilty. Or if he sinned wherein he has sinned, come to his knowledge. Or if his sin wherein he has sinned, come to his knowledge. He shall bring his offering and a kid of goats and a male blemish. You need to, so this has happened to that brother Judah Nazareth. He's sitting on here. If he really got an issue with the name that we're using, he should go and look at the verse like it says, man, you know, first hear out the matter and then interject if need be. He didn't hear out the matter, so that makes it to where he's being ignorant, being presumptuous. Actually, Jesus says, so if he sinned wherewith he has sinned, come to his knowledge. He shall bring his offering and a kid goat and a male without blemish. And he shall lay up his hand upon the head of the goat and kill it in the place where they kill the burnt offering before the Lord, before Yahweh. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall take the blood of the sin offering with his finger and put it upon the horns of the altar and the burnt offering, and shall pour it out. Shall pour out his blood at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering.
Yeah, you can do that with flour too, right?
Correct. Leviticus 5 explains that we can do that with flour. The next chapter.
So you know what I mean, you keep that Torah, man. You gotta do that sacrifice.
Yep, correct.
Repent.
So they have to make an atonement for that. They have to repent also. They have to change and they have to convert and change the way that they're using that name. That's just the truth, man. No one is picking on nobody, but we're going to clear this up. As of today, blessed be the name of God. Can't nobody say that you didn't know. Can nobody have no excuse? And you can feel settled to look at a whole panel of people and say his real name and look at everybody else like, no, they done lost their mind. No, they going off. No, they wilding and bugging. Yeah, I said it. With that being said, man, you got anything to add to that Akmalak Torah or Archeology Sop in the background? You know,
no.
Or did that point? Or did we just drive that point all the way home?
Yeah, that point was driven all the way home, man. If y'all didn't take down notes, man, go back and take down notes, because that was a good one. You know, you might have to, you know what I mean? Somebody might be trying to call you out, you know what I mean, on this information, right? And you know, say for instance, you somewhere, all you got is your phone, so you can't get off. You can't look at your phone and look at like no pictures or nothing like you took or screenshots when you online. You're gonna, you know what I mean, get that paper, man, and bust it right out.
Right.
You know, because you know, so it's always good to write it down. It helps you remember too.
Calm.
You're like, no, I got that somewhere. Matter of fact, I got a whole list. I got whole sources on a paper somewhere. Let me go get that real quick.
I got it all written down, man. I'm ready to rock. Anybody say anything to me, I got it all written down in this little black book I can carry in my pocket. So at any time, I can just pull this from the hip. Even if you don't want to be cooperative and pull it up on the screenshot when I ask, it don't even matter because I can just read it from my notes and I'm still going to sound smart enough to be accurate. People are going to look at me like, damn, you know what, keep it real though. That was the most intellectual breakdown I heard. I didn't hear.
You know, it's crazy because people look up, like, say for instance, even if they don't let you screen share, you can just give out your sources and people's going to look it up. People going to look it up immediately. Like, man, what is he talking about? This dude's not trying to let him speak, but I'm going to still look at what he's saying. I do it all the time.
Yeah.
When people be like trying to cut people off and, my man, why ain't they trying to let them say that? Let me see what they're saying right here. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, this person got some backup. They're backing up their statements.
Right.
While this other person's trying to invalidate. I'm like, man, this looks stupid ass. Dumbass, don't know what you're talking about.
Hell yeah. So yeah, go ahead and look like they say, like what's his name say? Oh, you don't believe me? Go Google it. Y'all believe Google, don't you?
Yeah.
It's out there.
The bronze bomber.
Bronze bomber. Google it. You know what I mean? You don't want to believe me, that is fine. Go Google it then. Look at my sources and go Google it. Other than that, man, repent. With that being said, man, all praises to the Most High. I'm pretty much done here. You done? We actually gotta go. You know we gotta go, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right. Are you gonna come get me?
Yeah.
And if we gonna go, or are we just gonna meet up there?
I'm coming. Oh yeah. I'm gonna come.
You gonna come get me?
Yep.
Yeah, man.
All right, then come get me. We gonna shut this down.
All right,
y'all, man. Thanks for showing in. Even you, Judah. I know that you angry and this messes you up a little bit, but you'll get over it, brother. You know what I mean? You can feel safe to go on ahead and cross over to the real name too. We lay the information out there so you can safely tread onto the right path, brother. We ain't gonna leave you hanging. We got you there. With that being said, man, all praise to the Most High God, man. Anything else? Y'all saw?
Nope. Kahala Haba.
And then let's rock this out and then let's get this going. Where we at?
YouTube Premium, there are no ads. Get YouTube Premium. All YouTube, no
Y'all can hear that
interruptions.
sound?
Let's talk about BetterHelp. If you ever feel anxious, depressed, stressed, overwhelmed by the world being very much on fire, BetterHelp can step in with their fleet of licensed.
Yeah, I hear these niggas when they talking, let them gossip. Protocol, never catch me slipping, tell them watch him. Tunnel vision, move on my way or try to stop this. All black, 0 dark, 30 when we lock in. Yeah, I hear them niggas when they talking, let them gossip. Protocol, never catch me slipping, tell them watch him. Tunnel vision, move on my way or try to stop this. All black, 0 dark, 30 when we lock in. I don't know what these niggas heard, boy, this my shit. Funeral home look like a gathering for the gothic. Outside of your crib like we held somebody hostage. Box shit, aiming at your noodle with a chopstick. She love me, but she say she hate the way I make her toxic. Double up on everything I do cause I'm a prophet. Picture me coming to you for help, boy, that's nonsense. It's just me and my niggas, everybody know we got this. Watch your tone, you bass, I got something make you high pitch. Thinking he got faith till he run into a scholar. You a goon, he a goblin, tell him I'm a monster. Niggas forget the goal, all I care about is honor. If I say I'm not 2 or not 3, use your logic. Handicap match, get some help and then combine it. He think he big, treat his head just like an ostrich. So many hands and feet like he jumped inside a mosh pit. Yeah, I hear these niggas when they talking, let them gossip. Protocol, never catch me slipping, tell them watch him. Tunnel vision, move on my way or try to stop this. All black, 0 dark, 30 when we lock in. Yeah, I hear these niggas when they talking, let them gossip. Protocol, never catch me slipping, tell them watch him. Tunnel vision, move on my way or try to stop this. All black, 0 dark, 30 when we lock in. Take comment, yeah, I hear them talking, let them chime in. Something like a butcher with that machine when I'm locked in. With the Conway, no West Side, so go find him. Locked in, gunning for everybody in your top 10. Who woulda knew? Keep it cooler, you niggas fool. Send them to Africa when that Mac 10 buck too. Doctor with a hammer, I get surgical with a 2. If it's up, then it's stuck, and I'm feeling real vertical. Strap on his little Uzi, make you do a shoulder move. You do it for the clout, and we still won't even notice you. Been waiting for a long time, well, it's time to show and prove. That's why my circle tight, we ain't got shoulder room. Street sweep his whole block, clean it up, no more cold. Thought he seen a witch, it was quick, he just know the broom. Jumped in the water with the sharks, I had open wounds. With a half moon, make it dark, I'll just wait till noon. Yeah, I hear these niggas when they talking, let them gossip. Protocol, never catch me slipping, tell them watch him. Tunnel vision, move on my way or try to stop this. All black, 0 dark, 30 when we lock in. Yeah, I hear these niggas when they talking, let them gossip. Protocol, never catch me slipping, tell them watch him. Tunnel vision, move on my way or try to stop this. All black, 0 dark, 30 when we lock in.
Yo, A2, you crazy for this one.